Hey, what's going on? My name's Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting friendships. In this episode, we're going to talk about one-sided friendships. When is it time to let go? Now, this is difficult because you may have been friends for a very long time, but I'm going to give you 3 reasons why it's important to let go and when to do so. Are you ready? Let's go. Have you ever been in a one-sided relationship where maybe your friend will call you and they'll immediately talk about their problems? You know, those friendships where they don't ask about you. How are you doing? What's going on with you? There's no fun, friendly, live conversation. Maybe you've been with this friend for many years and you've talked and somehow your relationship slipped into what it is now. You used to talk about fun things together, but now all they do is talk about them, what's going on with them, and they just don't demonstrate that they're interested in you. It's awful, right? And see, what happens here in these kind of relationships is that we hope and we wish that we can go back to what it was before. Just kind of slowly, maybe after they've finished all their drama, things will change and you'll return to having those fun conversations that you used to have. But that rarely happens. Honestly, it rarely happens without intentional change, without you saying something about the relationship. And maybe you're thinking, oh, I tried Lee. They're just not whatever. Or, I can't leave them in their time of need. I want to be the friend who listens. I want to be the supportive person. But that takes a toll on you. It really does. It takes a toll on you because you don't feel seen, heard, appreciated, accepted in a relationship because all they do is dump on you. Oof. The wild thing about this is that you know that you can't take any more of this and you don't want to let go. I understand. I get it. In fact, I've had tons of experiences like this. I've in fact been on both sides of the fence. I've been the one who listened a whole lot, and I've also been the one who did the dumping and not being interested in my friends. Neither position was really good for me. I was the one dumping on my friend and not realizing that I had been ignoring them or I hadn't been treating them like a person. And then me being dumped on, well, I didn't feel appreciated, heard, seen, or anything. I didn't feel like I was a real friend. So being in a position in which you are in a one-sided relationship or friendship, you really have to consider what the point of friendship is in the first place. What's the meaning behind it? And for me, I think friendships are supposed to be a safe place where you feel accepted. And in that space, you should feel like you have someone that you can trust and someone that you can hang on to. And if that's not happening for one reason or another, it's time to re-examine your friendship. Now, notice I didn't say just end it. I said re-examine. Look at the friendship. Look at the kind of connection that you have and think about how you feel about that friendship, how you feel when you're connected to that person, because connection is the key to friendship. And connection at its core, this is my personal belief about connection, is that the other person knows and demonstrates they understand how you feel. That's it. When it's a one-sided friendship, whether you're being the one who's dumping or being the one who's dumped on, one of you is not getting heard. One of you really isn't having their feelings heard out loud. Well, wait, what? How could that be if you're the person who's just constantly dumping on them? Well, I imagine that being a person who just continues to share and share and share, you're not checking in to really see how they feel. You're missing it. You're missing that necessary component to see how they feel about the experience with you. You're in your own feelings, in your own world, and you're just dropping whatever's going on, however you're feeling, on that person, in so much that they don't get a chance to demonstrate that they understand how you feel and reflect it back to you. They're probably going, yeah, all right, yep, too bad, girl. That's a dang shame. They might just be doing that, and you might hear that as they understand you. But in my book, in my world, that's not a real clear demonstration. And I say this because if they're doing a really great job of reflecting back your drama, your pain, your frustration, if they're doing a great job reflecting it back to you, I believe that you'll wake up and you'll be like, oh, I did this and I feel this way about this. I don't like it. And I continue to do it. That's what I think friendships are for. That's what I think reflection is for. It's for them to help you understand how you're showing up in the world. And if they're reflecting back an accurate picture of you that you do not like, you would make changes. You would make changes upon that. So that's my theory. And that's why I think, well, you're not getting your needs met because you're just dumping and you're not listening. You're not getting anything demonstrated back to you that, hey, this is how you show up in the world. They're just, yep, okay. And on the other side of the fence, you're the one going, okay, yeah. That's you absorbing all this stuff. You're not getting your needs met either because they're not listening to you. You're not getting a word in edgewise about how it feels to have all this stuff dumped on you, first of all. And then you have an entirely different set of experiences that happen, but you don't get an opportunity to share. It's a one-sided relationship for both of you. Both of you are alone with your own feelings. Do you know what I'm talking about? Has it ever happened to you? Friendships are supposed to be your safe place where you feel heard, understood, and accepted. Once you no longer find joy in connecting with that person, it's really hard to call it a friendship anymore. So here's what I recommend. If you can relate to being in a one-sided friendship, before ending it, I want to share 3 reasons why it would greatly benefit you to explain your feelings of one-sidedness. Remember that friendships and close connections, they stem from your ability to explain how you feel and their demonstration that they understand how you feel. So here are 3 reasons why I believe it will greatly benefit you to explain your feelings of one-sidedness to your friend, your close connection, or whomever it is that needs to hear your side. Now, when should you do this? Well, as soon as your relationship starts to feel like there's no more joy, you start being bored with the conversation, you're disinterested, you don't talk about things that bring you joy and that are interesting to you. This is your flag. This is your red flag. This is your warning. Hey, this is the time, because your relationship has changed from the fun, interesting connection that it used to be to something that's unrecognizable. This is where we want to start talking about this change. The secret to getting all these benefits, the 3 benefits that I'm going to mention, is how you do it, is how you start talking about these things that have changed in your relationship. When you talk about them, you must remember to talk about the specific actions and behaviors your friend has done in a clear and concise manner. And we only want to talk about one instance at a time. We don't want to come in and say, you always do this or you never this. Don't do that, because it makes it hard to pin down something that can actually change. We want to focus on one specific event. We also want to be intentional about doing it in the moment. As soon as it starts to happen, we want to say that right there, and then talk about our feelings about that. We have to say what that is. That is in quotation marks. So here they go. Just imagine. Here they go. You picked up the phone and they start talking about blah, 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 boyfriend, girlfriend, drama, work troubles, right? At that moment, you want to say, when you call me to talk about your work troubles and don't ask about me, I feel sad. I feel frustrated. I feel disconnected. And then present what you do want. I would feel more connected to you. I'd feel more interested. I'd feel more happy if you called to ask about how I was doing. Ask about my day. Be curious about me. This is going to get your conversation started. Now, this is just a little tidbit because that is going to open up a can of worms, guaranteed. But this is how you get the conversation started. And here are the 3 benefits to doing just that. 1, you make them aware of their impact on you. It'll open up a whole new discussion that you've never had before. And from there, hopefully you two can work on salvaging that once comforting friendship that you've had before. Number 2, you will know that you gave it your best. So unfortunately, it doesn't always work. They're not always capable because you can probably hear that conversation going sideways. Well, I do ask about you. Well, nothing. You never have anything interesting to say. But I always have this drama. How dare you not be a good friend to me and listen to what's happening in my life? I've just got so much going on right now. You can hear that going sideways. I know you can. But you've given it your best. You have actually said your feelings about your experience. You won't leave wondering if there was something else that you could have done differently, because you clearly said what it was that was disturbing you in your friendship or your close connection, and you've given a solution. They could not hear it and they could not implement it, and that is not on you. That is not on you. It's up to you to clearly communicate what you need, and if they're capable, then they will do it. If they're not, then they can't. And you have to think about what your relationship is going to look like going forward. Number 3, you make it clear to yourself what you will and will not tolerate in your friendship for future reference. So this is important because when you say it out loud, how you feel and what you want, amongst all your nerves and your angst and any other unpleasant emotions, you will demonstrate the bravery that you have to speak your truth to yourself, who is the most important person in your life, by the way. You have a greater chance of remembering what you said out loud, retaining it, and taking action to prevent it from happening in your next friendship. So as soon as this surfaces again, because it does, we just are attracted to people who do familiar things. So you might find yourself in another one-sided friendship or relationship, and you remember that this isn't what I like. This is what I like. And you say that I want you to ask about me. I want to be able to talk about myself. And you remember that you said that to yourself out loud. And when it happens again, that someone's putting you in this position where you're in a one-sided relationship, you'll remember that, you know what? This is not what I want. I'm going to say what I want. I did it before and I can do it again. You kind of program yourself for that to help yourself in future relationships, future connections with other people. So these are the 3 ways you will benefit when you start talking about your side, or you talk about how you feel about the experience. And remember, the how is very important. So once again, the 3 ways you'll benefit are: you'll make them aware of their impact on you, hoping that things will change. Number 2, you will know that you gave it your best. So if it doesn't change, it's not on you. 3, you make it clear what you will and will not tolerate in a friendship for future reference. You're setting yourself up for success. Please remember that everyone, including you, deserves friendships where you both care for and support each other. Do not settle for a friendship or a close connection or relationship with someone who barely acknowledges you. Be heard, understood, and appreciated for who you are. I'll be right back with the Answer Reddit question.
Are you tired of being around people who just don't get you? Have you been putting yourself out there but not able to find anybody that matches your vibe? You're not alone. Making friends, especially as an adult, is hard. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach, and I want to help you find your tribe. I have a 3-step coaching program for groups and individuals that's designed to help you get to the right place, to meet the right people, to have the right kind of conversations that leave you feeling fulfilled, appreciated, and understood. After going through the Find Your Tribe coaching program, you'll discover who it is that you really want to be connected to, how to find those people, and what you need to talk about so that your relationship moves from an acquaintanceship to a close friendship. And with this program, you won't be on this journey alone. You'll have access to a private community in which there are others who are just as intentional about making the kind of connections you are. You'll also have access to live events like weekly Q&As, speed friending, and much more. You'll be able to practice your skills in a safe environment and feel confident to connect authentically when you get out into the real world. If you're ready to get started on making meaningful connections and lasting relationships, then book a friendly conversation with me so we can discuss what your needs are. The link is in the show notes. I look forward to hearing from you. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. How should I deal with friends that are too polite? Hi all. I have an online friend I've been gaming with for a long time now, and we nearly do everything together. I'm quite a needy person, and if I had the chance, I would game with this person whenever I get the chance. And similar to other posts I read here, I'm very anxious and paranoid. We have different skill levels and interests in general sometimes. Because of this, they have sometimes avoided me. This could be me overthinking. They have never explicitly and obviously not invited me. But I think he's too polite to outright tell me if he wants to play by himself for a bit. I've always told them, please do not hesitate to tell me if they want to play by themselves. But that if I got the chance, I would always join the game with them. They said it's fine and never verbally stated that it's an issue, but subtle behavior sometimes suggests this might be the case. With my bad anxiety, I don't deal well with this way of working. I'd much rather prefer someone tell me outright rather than just second guessing. But I know for a fact they are too nice to say anything. I've tried giving them space before, but then I think to myself, why should I stop doing what I enjoy with them if they haven't told me they want space? Is that selfish? No matter how many times I tell them to let me know if they want to chill by themselves, they never say no. Like I said, this could be overthinking. I've been clinically told I don't sometimes recognize normal behavior, so I'm seeking advice on what you guys think, or if you've been in a similar situation, what do you recommend I do? Hey Redditor, thanks so much for writing. I picked this one because as far as it goes with one-sided relationships and one-sided friendships, it seems like it's heading in that direction. It's one-sided to me, it looks like that to me, because you're not talking about how you feel, or one person is not being heard in the situation. And I look at this and I'm like, you have clearly stated many times that this is how you feel. You can invite me or not. You saying to your friend, you can invite me to play this or not. You know that you're a pretty needy person, as you said in your letter. I want attention. I'm going to jump on this game. If there's an opportunity, I'm going to come play with you. And you've told that to them, and they know that. And now you're waiting for them to behave in a way that is supposed to be like rejection, I think. But the point is that they're either not hearing you or you're not believing what they're saying to you. Either way, it's pretty one-sided. You're saying, hey, this is how I behave and this is what I want. This is me. This is what I do. If you have a problem with it, let me know. And you keep saying that to them and they're like, no, there's no problem. And You ask them again, hey, is there a problem? Like, no, there's no problem. Hey, is there a problem? No, there's no problem. But as you commented, so it wasn't in a post, but you commented here, it says that you second guess everything and you did catch them in a lie early on. And so you're a little weary. But if we can step back and just look at the one-sided piece of it, is that he continues to say to you with words, there's no problem. And you're not hearing it. You're not demonstrating that you've heard it, rather. And to demonstrate that you've heard this is to simply believe him. You've told him what to do when you want his, response. Like when you told him what to do, when he says, enough is enough. You told him, this is what you do to tell me enough is enough. All right. And he has yet to do that. And you just can't hear that or see that or believe it. For some reason, there's anxiety around there. You have difficulty trusting. You caught him in a lie earlier. So it looks like it's becoming a more one-sided relationship where you just don't hear anything he says. And they don't tell you how they feel. And why would they tell you how they feel when you, right now, it seems like you're clearly demonstrating that you don't believe them or trust them in this one-sided relationship. Oof. I came in hot with that one. I'm sure I came in hot with that. But that's what it looks like to me. All it is, my advice to you, rather, is to believe what they say. Believe it. And if you start seeing things, if they start doing subtle behaviors, you look at that subtle behavior as an experience that you've had with them, an event that's happened, and you call that event out. And you say, oh, yeah, you said that you don't mind playing with me, but you logged off as soon as I logged on. As soon as you saw me log on, you logged off. And share your feelings about that. Say your feelings about how you feel. Don't talk about how their behavior is. Essentially, don't make up reasons why they did this or why they did that. Just strictly talk about you from your side. I felt like you didn't want to play with me when you logged off. And then you go share that with them and see how they respond to that. And you watch for it again. And see if that happens again. It's up to you to know how you feel at every point in your relationship or friendship with the person. And then tell them how you feel about the experience. And when they respond, believe them. If you do not believe them, then it's time to go. It really is. It's time to go. If you can't believe them, if they keep demonstrating and it doesn't look right to you, it doesn't feel right to you, then you leave. You can't make the change. You'll be there in a one-sided relationship all by yourself because there you go saying, these are my feelings, this is what I experienced, and they're not listening to you or making any changes or demonstrating that they understood you. Because if they did know how you feel. If they knew that they were doing something that upset you, that hurt you, then they would be willing to talk about it, to have a compromise. Because a friendship would not want that to happen. They might say, look, I do not like hanging out with you all the time. That's honest, that's true, and that's real. And then you adjust. And they'll stop doing those behaviors that you don't want. Because you said at the beginning that you'd rather them tell you. You'd rather someone actually tell you instead of having these clues and cues that you have to pick up on. Remember the benefits of sharing your side. Talking about how you feel about your side. Number 1, you make them aware of the impact on you. Number 2, you know that you gave it your best if your relationship doesn't work out. And number 3, you make it clear what you will and will not tolerate in your friendships for future reference. Don't let your relationship be one-sided listen and trust in what they say, and then if they do something that triggers you to feel upset, sad, frustrated, share that with them in a clear, concise manner. You got this. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.